Right now at 5, cool weather, coffee and cars bring Pittsburgh gearheads together for another Drag the Gut Sunday.
And we've got the opportunity for additional scattered showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. In fact, some out there this morning. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a new era for Baxter Springs Fire as a new state-funded station is built with community commitment.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday. It is July the 7th.
Yes.
First full week of July is here. We have made it, and hopefully everyone out there that's joining us made it through the holiday weekend and safely, of course, and hopefully had a lot of fun as well. So,
absolutely,
looking forward to another just fantastically warm day here. The good news is our temperatures today still technically below normal. We have some additional rain chances. We're going to start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and you get that extra day off in the week, and then all of a sudden your whole world's upside down, and I think that's where I'm at this morning. But not too bad looking out there from downtown Pittsburgh. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking good as well. But take a look at this. This is the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and these are thunderstorms that have developed across parts of Berry County. So just outside of Cassville, back around Shell Knob, and of course south of the Monette area. So nothing strong, nothing severe, but to that same point there, model data this morning, they weren't there. So we'll keep an eye on them, see exactly what they do. Now this activity, this is not actually here because you can tell too because it's not moving, but these flared up pretty quickly here in the last 15 minutes or so. They're rolling east, and so they'll exit our area, but we'll just keep an eye, see if we get any other additional activity that might try and flare up. Now later tonight, we do have a chance for some stronger storms. No hail or tornado risk areas highlighted, but we do have an isolated wind risk into parts of our northwestern counties. But again, that threat comes after about midnight. Between here and there, again, we'll see what those storms down south do. Otherwise, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. We'll have some isolated, widely scattered storms heading into the afternoon. And again, it won't be until after midnight when we actually see maybe some thunderstorm chances that, again, could be on the strong side in our northwestern counties. We're at 68 in Joplin right now, 68 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures faring out pretty well. Upper 60s and some low 70s, so a decent start to our Monday. We got a light breeze for now. It won't be that bad later. Southwest 5 to 10. Partly cloudy through the morning, upper 70s by 9, mid 80s by noon, upper 80s, maybe a couple of low 90s. And then again, like I said, once we roll into the afternoon, evening, and overnight, we'll see some slightly better thunderstorm chances out there. We'll have another look at your forecast because tomorrow we do have a few more storm chances in our future. We'll go over those details and talk about the rest of this week coming up. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, those traveling on Rouse Street in Pittsburgh may want to look for detours. Starting today at 8 a.m., South Rouse near Randall Drive will be closed as work will be done to improve the railroad crossing. Commuters are encouraged to seek alternate routes and to be aware of workers in the work zone. If residents have any questions, they are encouraged to call the City of Pittsburgh's Public Utilities Department. The road work is expected to be done on Friday, July 11th. Well, Drag the Gut was back in Pittsburgh yesterday with their second Cars and Coffee event of the season. 15 cars showed up and showed off yesterday just outside Applebee's in Pittsburgh. Cooler weather made it the perfect opportunity to show off cars that some people have been working on for years.
My favorite part is being able to build up a car to what you want, what you like, and just something you work really hard for and be able to show it off to other people and meet new friends. Just really show off what you've worked really hard for over the last couple years.
There will be a Drag the Gut cruise night on July 12th. A local fire department unveils their new station to the public Saturday morning. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
No, I just want to thank all the guys for the last 3 weeks. Most of these guys have been working up till midnight, working their full-time job, and then coming here and working to get this station up to where we're at today. So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today.
For nearly 100 years, the Baxter Springs Fire Department has operated out of the same station. The old station has been officially decommissioned. with operations moved to their $3.4 million facility.
So we started about 5 years ago. Started with Chief Gunnar Wixon, who's now Assistant Chief. We started reaching out, finding grants and everything else that we could get. Luckily, Tim Schallenberger was able to work with us and help secure $2 million from the state of Kansas, and Jake LaTurner's office was able to secure $1 million for us. So we were able to build this station debt-free to the citizens of Baxter.
The new facility provides more space, improved systems, and upgrades for the department.
So we ran out of space in this station. We are working out of the bays in one room. This new station provides all of our apparatuses and everything to be parked inside. We have a spacious training room where we can actually host training, and along with being able to extend that out into the bays. We put air hawk systems in to keep the carbon monoxide levels down in the stations, and provide a lot safer environment for all of our firefighters there.
The new location will be ideal for the city of Baxter Springs compared to the former station, in turn helping to provide revitalized services for the city.
It's going to be beautiful sitting on Military and Air Bay, being able to drive by and see it. We have a lot of kids that come up there that will get to enjoy it. We'll be in a better spot of town to serve all the citizens.
In Baxter Springs, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
One of the new additions in the station is a decon room for firefighters to clean up after being exposed to harsh chemicals. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Israel's prime minister is set to visit the White House this week to talk about ending the war in Gaza. Plus, at least 81 people have died and more than 40 people are missing after flash flooding swept through parts of Texas. And we have a hot and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be at the White House today. President Trump says he plans to talk with Netanyahu about ending the war in Gaza. Trump says that he will be, quote, very firm with him in discussions. The president has made clear he wants to see the war in Gaza conclude and the hostages held by Hamas released. He said he also believes Netanyahu wants to end the 20-month conflict and that he thinks there will be a deal next week. Trump has said they will also discuss last month's U.S. strikes on Iran. Later this morning, we expect to get an update from Texas officials on the catastrophic flash flooding from over the weekend. Now, according to National Weather Service data, extreme rainfall caused the Guadalupe River to swell more than 20 feet in less than an hour early Friday. So far, officials there say at least 81 people died and more than 40 people are still missing. Nydia Cavosos has more from Austin, Texas on the victims and the search and rescue operations.
There was so much screaming.
This morning, harrowing stories are emerging from survivors of the deadly flash flooding in central Texas over the weekend. Kerrville RV park owner Lorena Guillen says she watched helplessly as rushing waters washed through the campground.
There were dozens of vehicles just floating away.
Officials say there have been more than 160 rescues by helicopter, and search and rescue teams and hundreds of volunteers are combing the banks of the Guadalupe River.
It would bring me some closure knowing definitively what happened instead of continuously holding out, wondering if the one I love is still out there.
Texas officials say more than 80 people have died, and among the more than 40 missing are nearly a dozen children and counselor from the all-girls camp Mystic. Sunday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott toured the devastated campground.
It was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through, and we will remain 100% dedicated, searching for every single one of the children.
As the community holds out hope, questions are growing over the lack of early warnings.
There's going to be a full review, of this so we can make sure that we focus on future preparedness.
Yesterday, President Donald Trump pushed back on claims that cuts to the National Weather Service may have impacted the situation.
They did not. They did. This is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
The president has approved the major disaster declaration, and he says he plans to visit Texas this week. Nydia Cavazos, CBS News.
President Trump said yesterday he will likely visit the state on Friday. Now, meanwhile, the National Weather Service says Central Texas is still under threat of more flash flooding as slow-moving thunderstorms travel through the area this week. And still to come, a new study has revealed that people who receive hearing aids are more likely to have better social lives. Plus, Christopher returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, eyes on the skies led to confusion and concern as a strange and unique cloud that just so happens to look a lot like a large tornado caused some residents in the Atlanta area to sound the alarm. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Concerned residents in the Atlanta area were duped by a bizarre low-hanging cloud, mistaking the freakish funnel-like formation for a large tornado.
There's no tornado sirens. Like, should someone call?
Video and images captured near the city of Smyrna show the imposing cloud, which was definitely giving tornado-like vibes, but is actually a harmless formation called a scud cloud. Scud clouds are low-hanging ragged cloud fragments that form below the main cloud base and often occur with a thunderstorm cold front. And although they do extend toward the ground like a tornado, experts say it's the noticeable lack of rotation that sets a scud cloud apart and confirms this surreal southern sight was simply a case of mistaken skydentity. Another atmospheric phenomenon, a massive dust storm, descended on the Las Vegas area, causing near-zero visibility in places like the city's airport. The storm's reported 60-plus mile-an-hour winds had another startling effect, toppling power line poles on some area vehicles. One driver, who escaped unharmed, shared video of their first-person view as power lines came crashing down on their car. 6 vehicles had run-ins with fallen poles, but thankfully no injuries were reported. Well, many of us will have our eyes on the skies with the festive 4th of July looming, and with fireworks aplenty on tap, now's a good time for a safety reminder. And what better way than showing a mannequin with a watermelon for a melon running afoul of fireworks face first? Officials in Georgia used the doomed melon-domed dummy to remind folks when working with live fireworks, use your head and protect your head, along with the rest of you. Oh, that reminds me, I need to pick up watermelon for the weekend. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, with that, I hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a few scattered storms out there, mainly, well, really isolated storms into Berry County. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk about our other storm chances today and the other ones we have rolling into Tuesday when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:20 now on this Monday morning, starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker because we do have a few isolated showers out there into Berry County right now. Again, just outside of Cassville, back toward Shell Knob, and of course stretching outside of our area toward Reed Spring and Branson. Nothing strong, nothing severe. As a matter of fact, at this point, Skywatch Storm Tracker is also not picking up on any lightning with this activity. And then we have this little shower here that's now just to the west of Gravette, in between Gravette and Jay out there. So something else. Again, nothing crazy going on, but the model data this morning did not suggest any potential shower or thunderstorm development this morning. And as you can see, these have flared up pretty quickly. Again, starting at about 4:45, 4:40 this morning. They just kind of flared up. They're all part of this line, though. It's stretching right back down into northwestern Arkansas. So if we're going to get anything, it's going to be short-lived, should be out of here. But we'll keep an eye on it just to be sure. Now, later tonight, we do have the chance for some stronger storms. No hail or tornado risk areas highlighted, but we do have an isolated wind risk into our northwestern counties. Tomorrow, though, we'll see a little greater risk across the area. Not really greater, but more widespread chances for storms. So again, by noon today, initially, partly cloudy skies. Pop-up type storms are going to be the expectation through the afternoon into the evening. It won't be until, again, late tonight that we start to see an opportunity for maybe some thunderstorm activity after midnight in our far northern counties. Some of it could linger through about 5, 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Then we get a little pause, and by the time we hit mid to late morning tomorrow, we're going to start to see more thunderstorm development. You can see we've got this cluster now by noon tomorrow south of I-44. additional scattered shower storms off across parts of southeastern Kansas, and these will continue to flare up across the area. And as you can see, some of them kind of intense. Some of it's more so really just heavy rain, but we do have the chance for really any of these storms to be strong to potentially low-grade severe at this point. You can see by 5, we've got this cluster now to the northwest of Fort Scott, back through Cherokee, Ottawa, Delaware County, starting to roll in the Missouri side of things, and it stretches back off to the west toward Bartlesville. By 7 o'clock, just a few lingering storms. Once we get past that, we're going to start to look a little better. Could have an isolated pop-up storm or two on our Wednesday. Otherwise, much drier conditions. So as for our Tuesday, we do have the isolated risk across the entire region. So that's a level 1 out of 5. And right now, the greatest concern is with the potential for some strong to damaging wind gusts with that activity as well. So again, something we'll monitor for you. As for our Tuesday, though, temperatures will heat up once again back into the upper 80s, but a lot of us are still going to be technically below normal, which is not bad. First full week of July. By Wednesday evening, we do start to heat up a little more, starting to see a few more upper 80s, few low 90s out there, and that warming trend will continue through most of this week. So mid-70s to start our day, low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning, partly cloudy skies. Again, we'll keep an eye on those storms down in Berry County, see if any more try and flare up. Scattered storms for us tomorrow, upper 80s again, more low 90s by Wednesday. Excuse me, we're going to continue with the low 90s into the upcoming weekend with some additional pop-up storm chances by the upcoming weekend as well. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, children born via planned C-section have a slightly increased risk of developing certain cancers later in life. A study in Sweden found that among planned C-section births, there was a 21% increased risk of one type of childhood leukemia. And while the reasons aren't known, researchers say it's possible children born through vaginal birth are exposed to bacteria, which increases resistance to some diseases. Well, people who survived cancer as children have a greater risk for developing severe COVID. A study published in The Lancet found childhood cancer survivors were 58% more likely to be hospitalized or die from COVID. Now, the risk exists even decades after cancer treatment has ended. This suggests childhood cancer survivors should be prioritized for receiving vaccines. And people who receive hearing aids and cochlear implants to improve their hearing also saw improvement in their social lives. A study by USC found people who had their hearing loss addressed successfully became more socially engaged and felt less isolated. Social isolation can increase the risk of anxiety, depression, cognitive decline, and dementia. And the city of Orange Beach, Alabama is one step closer to purchasing life-saving equipment for beach lifeguards. The fire department is receiving a grant this week to buy a CPR machine. Samantha Serbin has more.
We can either do continuous compressions or we can do 30 and 2.
Showing us how a Lucas device works, Orange Beach Fire Department's Beach Safety Division Chief Brett Lessinger says this thing performs perfect compressions.
Click play. Gonna do its thing.
Right now, the city only has one of these units dedicated to the beach. That's 8 miles of sun, sand, and water where emergencies can happen anytime.
And that's why we want a secondary device for the beach. Number one, it frees up a set of hands. That's an extra set of provider hands that could work on airway or some other part of patient care that needs to be given. The other thing is perfect rate, perfect depth.
And it doesn't get tired.
It may seem simple to the naked eye, just on 2 knees, delivering compressions, but if you do anything for 20 to 25 minutes, you're going to be tired. So you factor in that a lifeguard probably had to do anywhere from 100 to 400 yard sprint, 100% effort straight into 150 to 300 yard rescue, maximum effort. Then they get back to the beach, they're already going to be out of breath.
Lessinger says last year alone, he knows of at least 2 successful saves they had because of this device. Fire Chief Jeff Smith says they've seen the same success in the city.
We've had them on the fire trucks for quite a few years now, and we have seen a drastic increase in in resuscitations with patients by utilizing that device.
A grant from the Firehouse Subs Foundation will allow the beach units to get a second one of these Lucas devices without the city forking over $18,000. It'll go in a supervisor's roaming vehicle, and they're hoping to have it by Labor Day.
This device is proven to work. It's saved lives, and hopefully it'll be able to save a few more lives for us in the future.
That's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a local 4th of July celebration lit up the city of Joplin with food, music, and a fireworks finale.
And we've got partly cloudy skies out there, a couple of stray showers out there as well. We'll have more shower chances as we head into the afternoon. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, 4th of July festivities continued in Pineville as the community came together for a patriotic celebration.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, July the 7th. We got through the holiday weekend, and hopefully everybody had a safe holiday weekend. Everything go all right on your end?
Great weekend. How about yourself, Chris?
It was not bad at all. I had a pretty good fireworks show Friday night, so safely, of course, but still a lot of fun out there, and hopefully folks enjoyed it as well. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, I know it's been a bit muggy, but it's not been as awful as we have seen. Yeah, exactly this time of year. Let's take a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. That's where we're going to start our day. Things are looking all right. Partly cloudy skies out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin also looking good this morning. Now we do have a couple of showers out there down into parts of Berry County. Right now, that's really about all that we've got. It's then just to the east of Cassville, still around the Shell Knob area. If we even back this up just a little bit, it is slowly pushing off to the east out there. Then we've got this little shower out here that is, again, to the west of Gravette down there into Benton County. Not much going on, not much expected, but at the same time, to be completely upfront and honest, all the computer data when I got here this morning, I don't remember, 3:30 in the morning, something like that, none of it suggested any thunderstorm development, but it's part of this whole batch stretching from outside of St. Louis all the way back down into northwestern Arkansas. So it is, again, progressively moving on out, but we'll see exactly what it does, see if there's anything else that tries to fire behind it, but we're otherwise looking pretty good at this point. However, late tonight, we do have a chance for some stronger storms. No hail or tornado risk areas highlighted, but some of our northwestern counties, we do have an isolated wind risk out there, but again, that won't really hit us until after midnight, and even then, that risk is a very low risk for us for tonight. Heading into the afternoon, though, partly cloudy skies, and we'll start to have opportunities once again for pop-up showers and thunderstorms across the region, and again, it won't be until after midnight that we'll start to see maybe some thunderstorms in our far northern counties out there. Temperatures this morning, 68, both Joplin and Pittsburgh, and across the area, again, not a bad start at all. We've got upper 60s and low 70s across the area this morning. Be into the upper 70s, near 80 by 9, mid 80s by noon. Partly cloudy skies out there, and we'll start to see pop-up storm chances as we head into the evening hours. Upper 80s, maybe a couple of 90-degree readings for our highs. Southwest winds around 5 to 10. Now tomorrow we have more widespread shower and thunderstorm chances, and some of those could still be strong, potentially severe. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the 4th of July may be over, but many were still celebrating throughout the weekend. Yesterday, the Royal Heights neighborhood in Joplin ended the weekend with their own 4th of July celebration. The free event, sponsored by multiple area ministries, started at 5:30 yesterday evening at Humphrey Park. The event provided food, music, and of course, some fireworks.
Sharing the love of Jesus with people. That's what it's about. That's what we're here for. We're here to just welcome people, love on people, get to know them, and that's what my favorite part is.
The celebration went on, rain or shine. Celebrations for the 4th of July continued on Saturday in Pineville. City members got together for their America celebration. It consisted of an apple pie contest as well as activities and games for the kids and free food for all attendees.
To have the property for the vendors to come and set up, I get an opportunity to have fellowship with them. It's kind of interesting because then once customers get here, then you get to interact with them and serve them. It's such a fun thing.
The prize for the apple pie contest was some bragging rights. And also taking place in McDonald County Saturday evening was the Jane Fireworks Show. This year's second annual fireworks extravaganza was ongoing fun and events before fireworks started later that night, including drawing and raffles for multiple prizes.
So some of the fundraisers will go to the Bradley Skaggs Foundation. So essentially what that does is anyone that's in high school that wants to enter into civil service like police, fire, EMS, nursing, some of that money will be donated to them to help pay for their college to get certified or licensed for one of those agencies.
The money made from the raffles goes toward the White Rock Community Booster Club and the Bradley Skaggs Foundation. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Tariff tensions are on the rise as President Trump is set to deliver his tariff letters around the world. Plus, Zaxby's introduces its first ever dry rub. We'll have the details on that. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the U.S. economy and job market is continuing to chug along despite uncertainty about the economy and how President Trump's tariffs could shake out. All while stocks, bond yields, and the dollar gained on Thursday. But beneath the headline numbers, economists say there are some worrying signs that could point to trouble ahead. Brian Abel breaks down the data.
The U.S. labor market stronger than expected in June, adding 147,000 jobs.
The U.S. really is still the brightest spot in the global economy.
The strong gains sent stocks soaring Thursday, the Dow nearing an all-time high and the S&P 500 hitting a new record, soothing nerves among investors worried about a potential economic slowdown due to uncertainty over President Donald Trump's tariff policies. A healthy jobs market also taking some pressure off of U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to lower interest rates.
President Trump has been asking him to cut rates. Really hard to argue that you should be cutting rates when the economy is still so very strong.
Yet beneath the top line number, economists are noting some trouble signs hidden in the data. The bulk of the growth was concentrated in just 3 sectors: healthcare, hospitality, and state and local government. But manufacturing employment, a key priority for the Trump administration, is down.
Even if some manufacturing is done here, they're using parts that are made elsewhere, and all of those prices are going up. And I think we're going to start to see that in reduced manufacturing employment.
The report also reveals it's getting more difficult for Americans to find work. The duration of unemployment getting longer, with an increase in the share of people out of work for 27 weeks or more. And while the pace of wage growth rose in June, it was slower than expected. In Washington, I'm Brian Abel.
President Donald Trump says U.S. tariff letters for trade deals with countries around the world will be delivered today. He made the announcement on social media overnight. It comes as the president's pause on his so-called reciprocal tariffs is set to expire this week, with the tariffs expected to kick in on August 1st. Yesterday, multiple countries at the BRICS summit, which includes Brazil, Russia, and China, condemned the increase in U.S. tariffs and the recent attack on Iran. President Trump threatened on social media, quote, any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy. And it was a big holiday weekend opening for Jurassic World Rebirth, topping the box office with more than $91 million domestically and $318 million around the globe. F1 the movie keeps zooming along at second, earning $26 million in North America. How to Train Your Dragon also flew to the top 3 with $11 million at the domestic box office. And Zaxby's is introducing its first dry rub and lemon pepper flavor. Customers can get the new rub On the chains, chicken fingers, wings, and chicken sandwiches. Zach's Rewards members were given early access to the new lemon pepper dry rub through the company's app. That's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful looking sunrise here from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Got just a few clouds out there. Still a few lingering showers into Berry County. That's really about it right now. More rain chances on the way. We're going to have a look at your full forecast when we come back.
Well, what are your favorite potato chips? The new survey says it may depend on where you live. Details in today's AgDay Minutes.
I'm Michelle Rook with today's AgDay Minute. The FDA is announcing a recall of blueberries out of concern about listeria. The agency issuing a Class 1 grade recall for 12,000 pounds of organic berries. They were produced by Elma Pack International in Atlanta, Georgia. Officials say 400 boxes were shipped to a single customer in North Carolina. It's not known if they were shipped elsewhere after that. What are the most popular foods at the 4th of July barbecue? Instacart saying that it has seen a surge in canned baked beans. That's followed closely by hot dog buns, watermelons, hamburger buns, and hot dogs. And when it comes to chips, it says there are distinct chip preferences across the U.S. You can see Ruffles is a hit across the Midwest and much of the West. Lay's has some lovers as well, along with Cape Cod chips in New England. The old belief that cheese can cause nightmares may hold some truth. New research looking at 1,000 people studying their eating habits and sleep patterns. Scientists found lactose intolerant folks can suffer from bizarre or disturbing dreams, but it's likely due to stomach discomfort. The study says overall 33% of participants reported nightmares and 40% said eating late or certain foods affected their sleep quality, both positively and negatively. For more Ag News, watch AgDay weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
Let's head over now to Chris for a full look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on some showers across parts of Berry County this morning. Again, not much going on out there, but to be fair, these little showers that have flared up, now I'm pushing a little closer to Branson or moving into Branson now, really weren't supposed to be there. None of this was showing up on the data this morning, so we'll continue to keep an eye on them, but they are moving out of our area. We've got this little shower still now that's northwest of Gravette in Benton County. Not really moving much there at all, and that's about all that we've got in terms of any rain, at least for the time being, but that will begin to change as we roll a little further into the day. All right, we do not have any tornado or hail risk areas highlighted, but we do have the potential after midnight tonight for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms in our northwestern counties, with the gusty winds being the primary concern. But again, that won't be until much later tonight. In between here and there, we'll have those partly cloudy skies and once again an opportunity for some pop-up storms out there starting about noon, and they'll continue through the afternoon and the evening hours, and then it's late. It's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You can see a few showers out here into Greenwood County. We got these showers in our northern counties up here. That's where, in that area, we could get a strong storm or two. Now, as we roll into our Tuesday, we have a level 1 out of 5 risk. So it's that marginal risk is what they call it, or isolated, across the entire region. It's a level 1 out of 5. But the reason it's across the entire area is as we roll late morning tomorrow into the afternoon and evening, we see considerably more widespread shower and thunderstorm development. Now, initially Tuesday, noon, greater concentration expected maybe along and south of I-44, scattered showers and storms outside of that zone. Then we see it flare up pretty good across southeastern Kansas. The additional storms out ahead of that into southwest Missouri by Tuesday afternoon. So here we go about 3. By about 5 o'clock, got a decent line of storms, or at least a broken line of storms from northwest of Fort Scott down 69, Ottawa, Delaware County, and then back toward Bartlesville as well. Scattered showers and storms around that. And then by 7 tomorrow evening, we start to see the last of these rolling up just north of Stockton, so around Appleton City. And then these will clear on out, and then we'll be done. Wednesday, we have another opportunity heading into the afternoon for an isolated pop-up storm or two, but that's really going to be about it. So again, for tomorrow, it's that level 1 out of 5 risk, but it's across the entire region. So we just showed you on Future Track, we'll have scattered storms. Just about all of us that should see something, just not all of us seeing it all at the same time. And the greatest concern tomorrow, once again, like today, is going to be with damaging wind gusts. We're also going to heat up a bit more tomorrow, but still for many of us below normal, going just into the mid to upper 80s. And of course, the rain, depending on where it is, how long it lasts, where you get it, when you get it, will have an impact on those temperatures tomorrow as well for some of us. By Wednesday, though, we don't have any rain or anything to have an impact on the temperature, so we start heating back up again, a few more upper 80s and low 90s by Wednesday. Take a look at that sunrise from 7th and Rangeline. Looks absolutely gorgeous this morning. Mid-70s to start our day, low 80s by 11 o'clock, and we'll have partly cloudy skies in between. We're looking at highs today once again into the upper 80s, maybe a couple of low 90s. We'll be back down into the 70s tonight and for the next few nights as well. Scattered storms tomorrow, upper 80s again, more low 90s as we head toward Wednesday and into the weekend. Pop-up storm chances this weekend. Again, they're pop-up storms, so most things, don't cancel your weekend plans. Just keep an eye to the sky. And we stay hot rolling into most of next week, starting to feel a little more like July. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now, the check of sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, after winning 8 games in a row, the Joplin Outlaws find themselves on a 2-game losing streak. But yesterday, they looked to avoid getting swept by the Texarkana Rhinos. And they get the win with an exclamation point, 14-2 in a run rule victory. And Joplin does its best to prove that the last 2 losses were just a fluke. Next up, they head to Piney Woods to take on the Timberhogs tomorrow. And in the major leagues, the Royals and Cardinals look to close out the weekend with wins. Kansas City can win its first series in nearly a month. The Royals are on the road versus the Diamondbacks. Were scoreless in the 4th until Bobby Witt Jr. pulls a ball deep to the left and it's gone. It's 1-0 Royals. Then later in the inning, Salvador Perez goes a yard and Kansas City takes a 2-run lead into the 5th with men on the corners. John Rave grounds it past the driving first baseman and another run scores. Next batter, Kyle Isbell shoots it to the other way into right field, and the Royals now lead by 4. And the KC pitching staff holds the Diamondbacks scoreless. The Royals win 4-0. But the Cardinals can't take their series against the NL Central leading Cubs. They get blanked 11-0 in the rubber match. Major League Baseball announced its 2025 All-Star reserves, and 3 players on our Missouri teams made the cut. At shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. earns his 2nd straight trip to the All-Star game, and he'll be joined by his teammate Chris Bubic, left pitcher, making his first appearance in the Midsummer Classic. And the Cardinals' lone representative is second baseman Brendan Donovan, earning his first career nod. You'll be able to watch the trio in just over a week on July 15th. And on the PGA Tour, the John Deere Classic crowned its winner yesterday, and once again, a PGA tournament ended in chaos. It's the final round of the John Deere Classic, and Elmanio Grillo can take the lead on the final hole with the look but a birdie, but his putt is wide by an inch, so Grillo and Brian Campbell are tied at 18 under. But David Lipsky can join the group in a playoff. He needs to sink this putt off par, but it lips out and is down to Campbell and Grillo. And Grillo has trouble approaching the green. Campbell can clinch the hole with 2 putts. His first shot just misses by a foot, and he taps it in for the win. The 32-year-old American wins his 2nd PGA tournament. Both have come this year. Let's look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, data shows more younger workers may be on the hunt for a side hustle. InstaWork, a company connecting businesses to full-time and temporary employees, says the number of young workers 18 to 24 needing second jobs to make ends meet has gone up from 20% 2 years ago to 40% now. InstaWork says the trend is happening even to those in full-time career fields like real estate and tech. Reasons for needing side hustle jobs includes financial stability and uncertainty, covering daily essentials, and having funds for vacations. March Lending Tree survey said 40% of Americans had side hustles to cover costs of living increases, and about 61% of workers said they couldn't economically survive without one. And it doesn't take long for most Americans who are just starting their day to have a sense of how it will really turn out. A new study says a little more than a third of people in the United States, 37%, know if their day will be good or bad within 10 minutes of waking up. The market researcher Talker Research surveyed 2,000 adults, and the research found if people overlook small steps like brushing their teeth or making coffee, it can throw off their whole day. The study also found a connection between sleep and a routine, with 70% of respondents believing a good night's sleep leads to a good day.
Interesting. I mean, good night's sleep does certainly help, but sometimes it seems like the older you get, that good night's sleep is more of you're going to sleep even longer, or you're going to be tired through the day. But that's interesting. That is interesting information for sure. Well, hopefully we can make your day not too terrible, because look at that. Great sunrise this morning, 7th and range line. Mid-70s by 8 o'clock this morning, low 80s by 11. Partly cloudy skies in between. Some pop-up storm chances really begin afternoon. They'll be fairly isolated with slightly better chances a little later today. We're going into the upper 80s, maybe a couple of low 90s. Then we get a little pause in the activity, and then after midnight, say closer to 2, 3 a.m., additional isolated storms, some of which could be strong, low-grade severe with damaging wind as the primary concern. Then we'll have scattered storms throughout most of the day Tuesday, starting at about, say, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe with damaging winds as the primary concern as well. With a couple of more pop-up storms Wednesday. We'll be back with more after this.